Black resin is already pouring over the juvenile. It lies curled on the mother's back, too small to climb away, its pale limbs folded under its body as the ash-filled pressure room trembles around them. Above it, the faceless mother arches her huge body. She has no eyes, no mouth, no crown, and no expression. Only a broad hunched back covered in glossy black armor plates, each plate shaped like a flattened young body sealed into her surface. The new juvenile is not armor yet, it still moves. One small limb presses against the resin as the liquid spreads over it, the black surface thickens. Red emergency light reflects across the wet coating. Gray ash falls from the ceiling cracks and sticks to the mother's back, then slides away as the resin hardens. At first, the plates look like shell. That is the mistake. They are not shell, not bone, not grown armor. Beneath each glossy plate, a juvenile body is still visible, curled spines, folded limbs, small defensive twitches under black resin. The mother cannot grow armor of her own. Her protection is made from offspring that will never crawl away. The pressure room shakes again. A wall crack opens behind her. Dust pours through it, the floor dips, then rises. The failed juvenile on her back tries to pull free, but one side of its body does not answer. It had already failed to crawl before the collapse began. It would not have reached cover alone. The mother lowers her back. More resin spills from hidden folds along her shoulder ridge. It runs like black glass over the curled juvenile, coating the headless little body, sealing the limbs, filling the spaces between it and the mother's existing plates. Around it, older living armor plates twitch in sequence, as if warning the room not to come closer. This is protection. This is sacrifice. The mother presses the juvenile flat. The motion is slow, deliberate, and terrible. The curled body spreads under the resin, not crushed, but rearranged into a defensive shape. Its limbs remain visible under the glossy surface. They no longer reach outward, they brace from inside. The juvenile is saved from the falling chamber by becoming part of the mother's back. A heavy impact hits the pressure room. The ceiling sheds ash in a gray curtain. Red light pulses through dust. The mother's front body drops low while her back rises like a shield. One resin plate shudders, another lifts slightly. The new plate has not fully hardened, and a crack in the wall throws a blast of ash toward it. The juvenile moves under the resin. One small limb twitches. The black plate tightens around that movement. The resin does not kill the motion. It traps it into function. The twitch becomes a defensive response. The plate angles toward the incoming pressure, still alive, no longer independent. Now the armor reveals what it is. Every plate on the mother's back is a young body, not decorative, not dead, not separate parasites. Her offspring have become a moving shield. When the room shakes, the plates align. When dust falls, they brace. When compression cracks spread through the walls, the juveniles beneath resin twitch in a coordinated wave across the mother's back. The failed juvenile is almost silent now. Its shape is flatter. Its edges are sealed. The resin has turned from wet black liquid to a hard glossy surface with faint living movement below. The mother arches again, placing the new plate between her body and the collapsing wall. The red glow grows stronger. A slab of pressure, chamber wall, slides loose and falls toward the mother's back. The older plates lift first. The new plate follows late, twitching with a weak but readable defensive motion. It works. The falling pressure breaks against the armor line. The mother stays upright. The plate holds. The juvenile survives the impact in the only form available to it, but it will never leave, once the resin hardens. The species rule is final. The young cannot hatch into a separate adult, it cannot crawl, it cannot feed on its own. It cannot choose another path through the ash-choked room. It has become a living plate, protected, useful, and locked into the body that saved it. The mother's faceless front lowers into the red light. She does not celebrate. She does not mourn with a face. Her body carries the meaning instead. The back rises. The plates settle. One after another, the juvenile, shaped armor pieces stop lifting and begin to breathe in tiny trapped pulses beneath the resin. The pressure room quiets, but only slightly. Ash still falls. The walls still creak. A long crack glows red behind her. The mother turns her body so the new plate faces the damage. The failed juvenile, now black and glossy, gives one last independent twitch. Then the motion changes. It no longer looks like escape. It looks like defense. The camera moves across the mother's back. Plate after plate shows a different young body sealed into black resin. Some are old and opaque. Some still show pale limbs clearly under the surface. Some twitch before the mother moves, as if they sense pressure through the resin before she does. The broad back is not armor worn by a creature, it is a family turned into a shield. The mother steps through falling ash. She carries the new plate near the center of her back, still shining wetly. The red emergency glow catches every curve of the sealed juvenile. A tiny limb shape flexes once beneath the surface, then presses flat with the others. Protection has become posture. Survival has become armor. The final tremor passes through the room. The mother stops under a rain of gray dust. Her faceless head remains lowered. Her huge back fills the frame covered in living juvenile plates. The newest one is easy to find, because it still reflects the red light like fresh resin. It twitches once, not to escape, to guard her.